All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday, July 27th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, at this time of the day, welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. I know that we're good to go live inside the trading room. Great to see Chuck, Pat, John, Gary, Kathleen, Frank, Debbie, James, Ron, Skip, David, and all of our students alike and trial members that is inside the cyber group trading room. If you are joining us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. So we have class finishing up today. Fausto's Phase 3 stock course, where you'll have the chance to see Fausto himself trade our picks, the list that we'll be coming up with here pretty shortly, or perhaps a couple of others that may pop up. But he'll be trading the picks going into the market close. And with that in mind, I got to kind of zip right through this meeting here. So to begin, APT would have found this anyway on the gainers list to start, would have been number 8 here. We'll put this on our list to begin. It's near the highs going into this time of the day. Actually just popped higher and then slammed back down. So honestly, it looks more like a short right now, so long as this could hold under 11 and not break back over it. If we see a lot more buying coming in off that 11 level, then I'd assume vice versa for this to then run back up even higher into the close. For right now, we'll just put APT on our watch list, right? We'll come back to it coming up pretty shortly. But we'll go right from the top now. The INTZ stock, this one we're not going to put on our list just yet. More so ended up making this big pop going into like 12:30, 12:45 Eastern time, as you could see. I got to say, we were pretty early to the run up here, at least, provided where it ended up going to. I mean, Chuck, I think, was the first to the call out on this as it popped over 450. I know Patrick and Lynette were talking about it too at that point. And as soon as it broke over 450, it got halted right out the gate. So it reminded me a bit like the NAOV stock from Friday of last week. It is at this point. Back from the end of last week, we ended up seeing this stock get halted like every other minute, every other time it reopened up instantly, up or down, it got halted. So, it kind of reminded me of that, the INTZ, just the fact that it ended up reopening up, it got halted again. It reopened up, it got halted again, but on the way down, and that's not good. Well, we ended up seeing this make another run back up, but we can't keep expecting that to happen. I mean, this already crapped out right around 1:30 Eastern time off the 7 level, a false breakout. And from there, I guess it's still at support, but it already filled the gap that you could see on the daily chart. So the writing's on the wall for this to just be a bust, at least for the afternoon. Nice trade from earlier in the afternoon, at least. All right, another bust, the OGEN stock. This is one that I was really hopeful for, more so going into the mid to late morning. I was running up really well pre-market. I was excited by it. I was ready to see this break over $1 right out the gate, pop and drop. Now here, I was thinking about it. I personally didn't pull the trigger myself. I was very close to, and it ended up teasing this break where it popped over $1, ended up coming back down, and I was hoping for the re-break to allow for the run up, and I decided not to pull the trigger. I guess I'm happy that I didn't. Ended up really failing to run up from that point. Ended up falling flat right away after. So, interesting setup, but we don't control this stock. Don't let it control you. That's all. All right, this JZXN stock. Wow, nice pop here. I'd called it out when it ended up beginning to make this push up. I mean, it was such a quick call out. I ended up actually deleting my own comment because it was like low volume at the time. I really didn't think it would make the big pop or run, right away. Well, it ended up dumping off. The volume dissipated right away from that point too. But hey, right now, going into this afternoon, nice pop back up, breaking back over 4 on the way up seemingly to resistance off of 450. I don't have my level 4 up for this stock right now, but I would assume 450 to be resistance on this trade. Yeah, for right now, JZXN, we'll write down here. All right, for anyone interested in Bitcoin news, we'll be doing that tomorrow, as is the case going forward, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The little report, and it wasn't official by any means. That was my that was my thought, that if it wasn't going to be official, that we would see Bitcoin drop off, the Amazon rumor, and they ended up kind of saying that wasn't true. Bitcoin dumped off after the market closed, and with that, Riot and Mara, you can see BTBT here, number 3 on the losers list. So we'll get to that next. But hey, for right now, look at this TAL trade. Damn, I wish I stayed in. I ended up being in this trade from 475 earlier. I ended up getting out at like 498. Ended up beginning to pop up. There was this huge 600,000 share iceberg. Only pulled his order. and he started to, and the stock started to slip back down. I stayed in the trade, but then he popped back up again, and the order got filled. So with that type of selling, so to say, I ended up getting out. I took my money and ran. It was nice to say 23 cents for a mid-afternoon trade. But damn, look at far this thing ended up popping up now. So this seems to be making the type of run I was hoping for it to make here, right out the gate at the market open. We talked about this inside our Traders Talk workshop earlier today for all of us in social media. That's our weekly workshop inside Cyber Group. Maybe every few months we try and do that on social media for free. If you're interested in learning more about our workshops, the curriculum that we provide, or just simply joining us inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the banner below the stream to get yourself started. But the reason I was hoping for this to pop up, look how far it dropped off at the end of last week, right? So, P Trader on YouTube joining us right now says EDU runs up too. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look as big or, nice of a pop, but from 2 support up to 215, yeah, you betcha. That's a nice trade, at least, P Trader. And same to be said, I mean, even more perhaps on that TAL trade, TAL. Where's Got You? There we go. There's GOTU, Got You from Friday last week. I did pretty well on this one in particular Friday. You know what? Hey, for all of them pushing up right now, why not? All of them. GOTU, EDU, TAL. There might be others, but those we're not really going to, put on our list just yet. Maybe if I find it on the gainer side and take a quick look, then we'll figure it out from there. All right, so this IRCP stock, right? I saw one of us type it in the chat board without any other comment on it. And, I only reserve that unless if the stock is just absolutely incredible to watch or look at. This type of stock popped, IRCP, it popped up from 3 to 350-ish, but this, I mean, no surprise for, in my opinion, seeing the stock crash and come right back down, even breaking lower. The reason I say that is because look how little volume this stock was trading prior to that very short-lived squeeze. Like, unless if it's a familiar name, unless if it's something trading a lot more volume that makes that type of pop, perhaps like TAL, even if it didn't, pop up even more here. That's the type of trade I'd be interested in. That IRCP, it's just not a familiar name, so that's a bit of a red flag right out the gate. This stock trades maybe a few 100,000 shares, if that, like really piss poor volume on a day-to-day basis. This is the exact type of stock that would be a pump and dump, much like EYEG. Right now, this stock was up a huge amount from the post-market pop yesterday. It was up like over 100% going into the market open, but this stock was trending down, down, down leading into the open. So to see this stock run and pop right away, that's a very tough feat. So I was expecting this to consolidate, if not totally dive off after 9:30. It did. I ended up taking a loss on this trade, though. I ended up catching this off of 4 right around here and ended up just breaking right back below that level. I thought that would be the point where we would see it bounce. Clearly not the case. Dropped all the way down towards like even 357 the low. Right. So just goes to show, just because news came out doesn't mean that we're going to trade the stock. And again, I think this EYEG, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. Yeah, pretty low float stock, right? Even the JZXN, just look at the float for this EYEG, 6.8 million shares. That's really low to begin with. I mean, I see this OSAT one with like a 830,000 share float. The lower the float, the more risky it could be trying to get out of the position. So that's where I say we would rather not trade those stocks unless if they really prove themselves out to be that strong. So, EYEG pre-market, definitely worth to focus on, but with the trend down at first, the writing was on the wall to at least see this drop off initially, and really provided very little buying opportunity from that point. This might be another education company here. YQ might be. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it. 17 Education Technology is the company name. I wouldn't have gotten that from the ticker, that is. But YQ, I mean, yeah, it's pretty flat. I feel like the others look a lot more lively, so we'll pass on that. METX. All right, let's just kind of skim by price right now, see if there's any other familiar names or stocks that were popping or are popping right now. Sint was popping, cheap stock, and we are familiar with it, but not really much going on right now. The DYAI, another pump and dump type of play where it popped up early after the market opened up. I called it out right away at like 8:22 Eastern, and it goes to show how fast it dropped off from that point. Same thing happened after the market opened up. All right, we're making really good on time right now. 2:40 Eastern. Fausto begins his Phase 3 stock course class coming up in about 25 minutes. So EDU, TAL, got you. All of those are on our list to begin. XCLA, not so much for this afternoon. Nice trade from the morning, though. Looks a little choppy, but ended up bottoming out right around 270-ish. Made a higher low, rebroke above the opening print at 285, and ran from there. It was a nice trade. But ended up dying off right around 10:45, 11 a.m. Eastern time, a little bit after that famous reversal time slot that we typically have, and ended up topping off right around 309, 310, broke back below 3, and that was it. All right, we'll see what else we got on the gainer side here. Just any other familiar names we'll kind of peek at here really fast. Market down, so really quickly, let me just zoom out on the 5-minute chart just to show the S&P ETF, the SPY, trending down throughout the morning, heading into the afternoon. Shortly after 1 p.m., we saw a bit of a pop. But the reason I bring that up is because you have the VIX tickers, all on the gainers list right now. UVXY up 7+%, kind of topped off at the same time as the SPY bottomed out. And just that's why you're kind of seeing that. I just wanted to just talk about that briefly. Damn, this APT sure did crap out the other way, right? It is hard to borrow. Check to see if you can get the shares to short. I could have sworn it was easy to borrow maybe about, just when I started this meeting. I could be wrong on that, but just double check to see if you can get the shares to short on APT if it fails to break back over 11. There we go. Skip inside Cyber Group right now. One of our longtime students just said TradeStation just gave him some. Excellent. Nice. So at least that is actually a viable opportunity. All right. So we'll hop over to the losers list here, folks. INFI down big, just really flat. Probably pass on it today and maybe even going forward. BTBT, right? So this stock was the big runner from yesterday, Bitcoin related stock. I'm sure that we'll find Riot and Mara on the losers list eventually. Really quickly, this is probably one of the easier trades across the whole day. 590 was resistance from the chart. 6 is your whole number level. So former resistance that led to this big pop and breakout yesterday afternoon and ended up becoming support. That was my easiest call out of the day. BTBT off of 6. So from there, led to a little bit of a squeeze up. Still very tradable. I'm going to put this on the side for right now as I continue to go through the losers list. Maybe I will slip this on the main list at the end if 6 can hold as support, if this begins to really push up further. There's an NAOV stock I see. Just a bunch of crap that's hard to borrow otherwise. FUTU. Oh, no, too expensive. I didn't see that there. Let's see what else we got. XPEV, familiar name, EV stock, ended up taking a huge hit in pre-market, dropped off after the open. I don't know if this is earnings-based or maybe analyst downgrade or maybe just component of the market drop-off. Yeah, that's just about it. I know XPEV is based in China as well, right? So, with all of those other education companies and just generally China-based companies, I know DD, one of them, ended up dropping off today after the market opened up. TME, Tencent, ended up dropping off after the pop from the market open. So it just says that several shares or shares of several Chinese companies trading lower on continued weakness amid the regulatory concerns regarding education and technology companies. That led to this big drop on XPEV. I would assume that leads to a drop on NEO. Yep. Down 9% today is NEO. Geez. So a lot of these China stocks in general, not to just say EV based, but China based companies taking a big hit. Lee, another one. I don't know if TIGR is based in China, but I know they've been getting crushed back from Friday of last week or really Thursday and made a really steady drop off down under and above that 14 level. I don't know. I don't really feel too keen to put all of these on our list for the afternoon. Out of all of them, maybe the TIGR one looks like the best one. All right. So, folks, I'll toss it to you right now on Facebook Live, on YouTube, or again, as I like to say, YouTube Live or Facebook. I'll probably never get that right. And for all of us live inside Cyber Group, let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to check out, anything up, down, left, right, more than 5% that you would want me to either see, something I didn't have a chance to check out just yet. Dave says JD down big also. It's starting to peak up a little bit from 62. All right, got Yoto on YouTube joining us. Yoto, welcome aboard, and for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live as well. Let me know if there's anything, folks, that I didn't have a chance to look at just yet. I'm going to check myself here coming up, looking at Benzinga Pro here. I see one stock that's at the high of the day. I don't know what the chart looks like. Wish, familiar name. It's up 0.71%. Wouldn't have found it on the gainer side. It's at the highs, right? That's the only interesting part about it, really. CIDM at the highs right now. That stock's up 3%. It's like watching the grass grow, though, and like just such big liquidity and orders on the ask here for it to break through. It's a tough feat. All right, going once, going twice, going 3 times, and we are done. If there's anything else that pops up, of course, we'll call it out live inside our trading room, and we'll go from there. All right, so for all of us there right now, I know that Rich just posted the link for the Phase 3 stock course, Fausto's live trading class, so make sure that you folks click the link to join. Make sure that you're prepped up, ready to go on your end. I know that Fausto's prepping up right now. He is tuning into this very meeting, so welcome aboard, Fausto, alongside all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live. Welcome aboard, Fausto. But with that in mind, we're going to call it a show for right now for all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube. Again, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every afternoon, each and every day. But make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification icon right on our YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. I don't do this every day. I probably should, as I said the last time I did it. But for any one of us on social media, if you have specific questions about any of the call outs that we're making, about any of the stocks that are on our watch lists, you could always email me personally. My email address, I posted it right there on the stream. Josh@ctutrading.com is my email address. I'll be able to get back to you as quickly as I can shortly after the market closed today. But otherwise, if you're interested in joining us live inside our trading room, as I said before, just go right down to the link on the banner below to get yourself started on a small trial. All right, for all of us there right now, give me a quick minute. I will copy and paste the picks. I will be back on the mic myself at 3:30 Eastern time. I mean that this time. I took a small break yesterday. I let Rich do the commentary all the way through. I'll be back on officially at 3:30 though, folks, taking us into the close. I'll talk to you then.